Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new video for you all today. So today I bring you guys a pretty unique one, at least I think so. This is not monster related, this is actually NPC related. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loot from 1000 Wise Old Man Tasks. So in simple terms, as explained on screen here in this clip, what we were going to be doing for this video is basically doing 1000 favors for this wise old man who is in Drainer. Now the wiki link to this mini game, I guess you would consider it, will be in the description below, so a big shout out goes to the wiki for providing me all of the information that I did need for this video. Information such as all of these items that I did stack in my bank, which are going to be needed throughout this video from start to finish, as you will see here very shortly. And as seen here on the wiki page, this is just kind of the general idea of all of the stuff that you do need. There's easy tasks, and then of course there's hard tasks. It doesn't really specify, which is which in game. That's more shown on the wiki, but basically you just need a lot of low tier items, and some of these items actually had very low buy limits. But luckily, whenever I encountered a buying limit problem, I just used another account of mine, and that was resolved pretty quickly. So there's also another problem with this video, and that is that there is no way to actually track how many tasks that I've done, because there's no log or anything like that, like there usually is for a lot of these loot videos. So I decided to just use a simple notepad document, number it 1 through 1000. I don't have an Excel spreadsheet or anything, so I just kept it as, pretty much complicated as I could, I guess you could say. But either way, every time I would finish a task, I would either be rewarded with herbs or gems or XP, tons of different things that you guys will see throughout the making of this video. And after each task, I would just simply write on the notepad document right next to the number of the task what I would receive, and that was basically how I tracked it. I was actually in the middle of making my 1000 Vorkath video. I'm currently about 600 kills into that, and I decided to take one day off just to focus on this because someone in my Twitch chat did suggest this idea, and I figured, it sounded really cool, and I looked on YouTube and I couldn't find too many videos relating to the wise old man favors. There was some wise old man videos, but nothing relating to this activity, and it's a pretty interesting activity. So yeah, let's get into this video. It is important to note that, as I did mention in the chat box earlier on, that if you're not going to be delivering items to the old man, then you are going to be delivering letters to his friends around RuneScape. And his friends pretty much consist of about 7 people, pretty close by. Thurgo, who is in Port Sarum, Reldo, who is in Verok, the Oracle, who's on Ice Mountain, the High Priest of Intrana, Father Lawrence in Verok, Father Eric in Lumbridge, and Abbot Langley in Edgeville Monastery. Hopefully not too many mispronunciations there, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. As soon as you deliver the letter to any of those NPCs around this game, they will give you the reward that the wise old man originally would have given you. Whether it be prayer XP or an item, that's pretty much the only two things that they can give you. Now, these items that you can get rewarded from this activity, of course, you're kind of going to see them a little bit throughout the video, and then at the very end, you will see the price check. If you don't want to listen to, 14 minutes of this description of this activity, I completely understand. You will not hurt my feelings. Just check out the description or the pinned comment. Skip to the price check. It's not going to bother me at all. For this activity, though, I would say, delivering items straight to the wise old man would make this very fast if that was all you did, but the delivering of the letters does make this much slower than it could be. If you're wondering how long this took me, I did this for about 11 hours straight, taking no breaks, did it all off stream, and actually wanted to get this done just because I wanted to see what people thought of this video. So I was very motivated to get this done. It wasn't really boring to me. I was just listening to music the whole time, and the only one step that really took a lot of time was the Intrana step. Essentially, I would just bank my Drayman staff as well as my construction cape, and then I would have to run to the docks, sail to Intrana, talk to the priest, and then make my way back to Drainer. Of course, there were other locations like Northeast Verok that were kind of slow to get to, but at the end of the day, it didn't really make too much of a difference. I would just say that Intrana one was the one that did take the longest. As it goes for just delivering him items, though, stacking up every required item that he does ask you for, whether it's molten glass or whether it's iron maces. I mean, it can go from many different items. As you can see, the bank tab was pretty massive there in the beginning, and we did price check all of those items just to see how much this video is going to cost to do. Whether you're an average player or a max main like myself, how much are you going to have to spend just to give the old man what he wants? And the real question is it going to be worth it. You know, with all these items that you do give him, you may wonder why he needs all this stuff. And he gives a lot of different reasons for a lot of different items. For example, if he asks you for ammunition, he claims that he's going to use it to kill the goblins outside. If he asks you for swamp paste, you know, he has to fix his roof that way. He may be hungry, so he might be in the mood for chicken, but most times he wants cooked meat. He's also a drinker, so you always got to make sure to bring him beer when he asks for it. And in order to fix his glasses, believe it or not, he just wants you to bring him some empty beer glasses. There's also pretty strange items that, like I mentioned before, do have some buy limits on them. For example, leather cows and bronze wire, as well as unfired pie dishes. Just really strange things that I was a little tricky to get a hold of. But if you pay a lot and you have some friends and some alternate accounts, it's pretty easy to get everything you need for this video. I don't know how popular this method is going to be, but you know, it is important to note that if you are going to camp this, you are going to have a lot of items in the bank that are a little bit difficult to get on limit. There was actually one point where I did run out of bronze axes, so I just had an alternate account of mine just literally smith bronze axes while I was getting all the other items for these tasks. And yeah, it was just kind of silly to do that, but you know, you got to do some weird things for some weird videos sometimes. And yeah, as you can see, this notepad document does come up. I tried to record every 50 or so tasks just to kind of show the notepad and just write down the loot at that given point. If you're curious as to why I was staff bashing the old man's bed, that is because there's one specific favor where he asks you to go upstairs and kill whatever is hiding underneath his bed. Every time you do this, you don't receive an item and you don't receive prayer XP. You receive the third thing that you can get from these tasks, and that of course is HP XP. So yeah, very strange, very strange, but nevertheless, you know, we did kill that thing under his bed multiple times. I would say in 1,000 times I probably killed it at least 20 or maybe 25 times, so not too often, but you still are going to venture up there every now and again. And as you can see, the loot is growing, you know, slowly but surely. I tried not to show the tab too often, didn't want to spoil it completely, but there is a decent amount of items that you can get rewarded for. I will say a lot of it's low tier. Even for a low level, it's pretty low tier, but you get rewarded in GP, you get a little bit of gems, the highest one and the rarest one being diamond. You get a ton of seeds, and the rarest one being a limperroot seed. I also noticed on the wiki that there's no snapegrass seed, but I did manage to get one very later on in the video. Imagine the highlight of a video being getting a snapegrass seed. But yeah, I mean, there's pretty crazy things about this, just in general, all the items that you can get. And even after doing 1,000, there were still seeds that I didn't manage to get. So just kind of goes to show, even if you do a long stretch of this, you may not actually see all of the items that this does offer. There's also a decent amount of runes, you know, from air all the way up to law, chaos, and even nature runes. So that's pretty nice. No doubt about it, the best rewards that you can get from this would be the herbs, specifically the Renar herbs. I do believe throughout this whole video, the most valuable reward that I got from any given task through this 1,000 was just about 40k. I think it was closer to 38k, but yeah, that's pretty good for, you know, spending like less than maybe 10 seconds to deliver him an item that's probably less than 1k. But again, just seeing that one reward being the maximum value out of 1,000, that's kind of where the downside is. So it really depends on your luck as it goes for that. But in general, you know, these are pretty low tier rewards, but doing 1,000, I thought that they would stack up to a decent amount, so I did think it was worth making to a video. And again, what a weird mini game. You know, maybe in the future, instead of adding more monsters, instead of adding more clue scrolls and different things like that, I don't know, maybe they'll end up adding an NPC that you can do things for or do things with and get rewarded that way. But yeah, this wise old man, a little history behind this guy. You know, he was released into the game June 6th, 2005, so he's been in here for quite a while. Not too sure exactly of the mini game release date. I guess that's what you would consider this. I am assuming it would be on the same, you know, day that the wise old man came out. And something worth noting is that all of the required items that you do need for this, you cannot note and hand to him. You have to do it unnoted, because obviously when you rob a bank, you really can't bring back something to ask the bankers to unnote it for you, especially when you're wearing a blue party hat and those glasses pretty much stick out like a sore thumb. So of course you just have to make it unnoted for him. There are stackable items such as, you know, ammunition, knives, and arrows, and headless arrows. You know, occasionally he will ask for those things, and you can stack those in your inventory. But with all of my trips to Intrana, it really just wasn't worth doing. I'd rather just go back and forth to the bank every single time. That's why the gear choice for this video was just a simple set of graceful. Construction cape did come in handy for the teleports to the monastery, of course running southwest of that to the ice mountain, and of course Varrock and all of the other locations that I did mention before. Now, prayer experience, you know, is rewarded about 43.75 95% of the time according to the wiki, and this ranges between 185 and 215 XP for an easy task, or 370 to 430 for a hard task. You do need at least 3 prayers, so you can't come here with 1, you at least have to have 3. And like I mentioned before, the thing under the bed upstairs, if you do manage to kill it and talk to the old man once you're done, he does give you anywhere from 250 to 300 HP XP. I do believe that this is members only, so free-to-players can't do this, but that's okay. Honestly, the teleports would make that pretty difficult for free-to-players in general. Obviously, the location of this is Drainer Village. No tutorial or anything, just can get started right away if this so happens to pique your interest. Not too sure if it will pique anyone's interest, to be honest, but in general, I just think it was a pretty cool video idea. And yeah, I'm always up to try new things, you know, and I always say this every video, but if any of you guys have any suggestions as to what you want to see done on the channel, doesn't have to be monster related, it can pretty much be anything and everything. Also, I do apologize for the screen flickering. I do see a few of these clips while doing this voiceover do have a little bit of a blue line at the bottom. Camtasia 8's been acting pretty weird for me lately. I might switch to Camtasia 9 in next video, we will see. But here we are nevertheless with 1,000 wise old mans complete. That sounded pretty weird. Let me reword that. Loot from 1,000 wise old man tasks complete. Here we are. The 1,000 has been tracked in fully. As you can see, a little bit of fast forwarding involved throughout this video. Actually, almost every single clip was fast forwarded, but yeah, we did track it. There's my proof, 1 to 1,000. It took about 10 to 11 hours. Strong 3 shots of espresso kept me going throughout the whole day. And yeah, in general, you know, first price check that I want to do is to price check all of the starting supplies. This is the item deliveries themselves, and I want to see how much, you know, I had at the very end, because I did have a number written down at the very beginning. I don't think I price checked it on video, or maybe I did, I'm not too sure. But overall, the very first price check from the first set of delivery items does come out to be just about 7.9 mil. And if we go ahead and we add it to the second price check, which is just about 3.1 mil, then we have about 11 mil with about 72k left over, which means we spent 492k just delivering these items to the old man. That's the value of everything that we gave him. So obviously we are going to subtract that value from the price check, and that will be our true profit. So yeah, you're gonna have to spend money in order to do this, or you can just do very self-sufficient methods to obtain all of these items. I mean, again, I think this was centered towards low levels, so ideally I don't think they would be buying these items. I think they'd be probably getting them themselves, but again, this has been out for over 10 years. Times have certainly changed. Nevertheless, let's get into this price check. This is all of the herbs, the runes, the gems, and you're looking at just about 63k cash, a total value of 923k. I'm not gonna lie, that was more than I was expecting, but of course we do have one more price check, and this is all of the seeds that we do have left. If we go ahead and price check all of this, it comes out to a staggering 4.9k, and I will choose to round up on that, so let's just call it 5k. So yeah, roughly 928k from 1,000 tasks from the wise old man. Minusing the delivery items, we are left with 436k profit. So yeah, the prayer XP, we started at about 18,453,000, so approximately we ended with over 108k prayer XP. Since this took around 10 to 11 hours to do, I guess that's like an average of about 10k XP per hour. Pretty strange way to train prayer. I would say this is definitely the strangest way to obtain prayer XP. A little bit of HP XP, I would say no more than about 5k, but give or take some more. I didn't really track it as accurately as I should have, but it is a pretty uncommon occurrence to have to kill the wise old man's bed upstairs. Some of the seeds did sell for a little more. The cactus seeds did sell for 2k each, so that was kind of a surprise, as well as the snape grass seeds selling for 2.4k, but in general, all the items that we did receive from this, you know, we did receive roughly 929k after selling a lot. There was about 6 seeds that were not even sellable. You know, 1 GP still wasn't good enough. Yeah, it's something to keep in mind. And with all of that being said, we are walking away with a staggering profit of 436k, 928k overall, but of course, subtracting the supplies, we do walk away with that. Over 100k prayer XP and a little bit of HP XP. Don't think I'll be doing that ever again, but let me know what you guys think about this mini game in the comments below, and especially let me know if you would like to see something like this added to the game that's a little bit better, more worthwhile, and certainly unique. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time, and until then, Mr. No Sleep out.